Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning on the West Coast. Good morning to everyone. Hey there, happy afternoon to everyone on the East Coast. We are live for another episode of Melanin Vibes. And today, you see, I got on my Tupac sweatshirt today. Today, it's a kind of low key day. Honestly, it's been a rough week, pretty emotional, pretty just sad, and I really wasn't sure if I wanted to do anything this weekend. But our topic today is protecting the mental and emotional wellness of our children. So our guest today is going to be Miss Kia Loggins. And while we are waiting for her to get set up, I'm just gonna keep on chatting with you guys, see how everybody is doing. We've got some viewers popping in. Hi, everybody. I can't see your comments. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. And we've got an amazing conversation and topic that we're going to be discussing today, talking about the mental wellness of our children. And there I see Miss Loggins. There she is. So we're going to bring her in just a minute. But I just want to say, I hope everybody's enjoying their week, trying to enjoy their week as best as possible. There's a lot that's been going on, and hey, Jennifer, good to see you. I really did not want to do a show this weekend. I was kind of overwhelmed and just stressed out. So I'm so thankful that Miss Loggins is joining me on today because I really do want to talk about protecting the mental and emotional wellness of our children. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring in our guest at the stream. Hello, Kia.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I think on here. Let me turn this volume up. There we go.
I was going to say, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you perfectly now. Okay. There we go. I can hear you. How are you doing this morning? Well, it's afternoon there.
Wonderful. And I'm so glad to see your face. It's been so long.
I'm glad to see your face too. I haven't seen you since high school.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Central. My goodness. So
thank
you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So, Kia, you are the ultimate mompreneur and owner of Extreme Youth Sports in Lake Mary, Florida, and also the author of Parenting Hacks 10 Smart Solutions for Raising Amazing Kids. That's a lot that you have going on. I've been watching you and following you, and I see you are a busy, busy mom. You are the mom of 3 children, correct?
You got it.
What are their ages?
11-year-old. He's now a middle schooler.
Oh, wow.
An 8-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Ah, that's a big gap right there. So how are you managing it all?
You know what? Listen, it was about Thursday. I was supposed to go live for our Extreme Sports Facebook page because we literally are moving today, our entire summer camp location to a new location. So I had to get changed and refreshed for this interview.
I appreciate it.
Thursday night I was supposed to go live to be able to talk about this move, and I was so tired. Oh my God, and then it's like I was supposed to go live at 9 p.m. and it was like 10 p.m. and I'm just exhausted. And then my son comes in. Can you help me with my math? Can you help me with my fractions? I'm like, what? So I'm trying to help him with his fractions, and I'm like, I'm really good at math. I know you are, Mom. And I'm like, but this is like 30 years ago. Please, I'm tired. You know what? So I was about over it. So I'm so happy the school year is over. You don't understand.
I can imagine. I can only imagine. So hello to all of our guests. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Shamika. I want to jump right into the show. And so for viewers who have not viewed the show, this show is all about talking about mental and emotional wellness in communities of color and kind of introducing some alternative methods because our mental and emotional health, like our guest last week said, just like our physical health, we have to do preventative measures. We should do preventative measures for our mental and emotional health. So thinking on that, Bohemian Bap is the name of my alter ego, Bohemian, because, I'm a little out there at sometimes, and Bap because Black American princess. But sticking with that theme, thinking Baps are thankful. So, Kia, tell us today, what are you thankful for?
Oh my God, that's a loaded question. I'm thankful for so many things. And I love that you start the interview with that because I think that's so huge to any BAPS success.
Yeah,
So, I would say I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for God. I'm thankful for my business and my amazing team. Definitely.
wonderful, wonderful. Hey, Rashida, we've got some guests joining us. That's great. And especially during this time, like it's definitely a blessing. I would say I am thankful for that as well. Thankful for my business and to be able to have a business during
Right.
these hard economic times. Like
You better tell the truth right there,
things
girl.
are rough, but thank God. I mean, he looks out for his people. That is for sure. So
And can I say something about that?
you sure can.
You know what? Because you hit on something because that is huge to be in business in a time like this because this was a
Mhm.
crazy year.
Yeah.
This was a crazy year, and it's even some restaurants I'm trying to go get some food to because we're in Florida and our restaurants are open, just limited capacity. But even some of the
Oh wow.
restaurants that I love aren't open.
Mhm.
They're out of business. They're gone out of business. I learned on Memorial Day that three of our competitors for summer camp are closed and they ain't coming back.
Oh my.
So it's sad. It's sad, but I'm very thankful that that is not us. That we're still open. That we're still serving our community. So that's awesome, and I definitely don't take it for granted.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know driving around town here in LA, like I look at business and I'm just like, wow, are they ever going to be? They're not coming back from this, and it's kind of it's hard, to be happy that I am in business and I'm able to, God is making a way and people are buying books, especially at a time when people don't want to ship items. But also, it's sad looking at the businesses that have been around for years and like they're not going to come back from it and you have to pivot. So, no,
Yeah,
I'm thankful. Yes, we are both
yeah,
thankful for that. But you
definitely.
know what? Today's topic is an important topic. Especially it's been a trying week for everyone. And I was saying at the top of the show, like I really wasn't sure if I wanted to do a show or not because it just wasn't in the mood. Like if people notice, I wasn't on social media a lot this week. I've just been kind of chill, just
Yeah,
what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. But today's topic, and you brought this to me, protecting the mental wellness of our children. And that's a
yeah,
very important topic during these times. I mean, with the pandemic, with states opening back up, schools opening back up, just what's going on in current events on the news, like just watching everything going on the news. It's just
yeah.
hard to, how do you protect your child? How do you shield your child? When is a good time? So I want to get into my first question is, what does wellness in children look like?
Ooh, that's a good question. So you know what? Wellness in children is super important. I don't even know if you know my background is in juvenile justice. I went to Michigan State. Go green, go white.
Go
Um,
green, go white.
yes. But I studied criminal justice in my undergrad, but my master's is in family counseling. And so, a lot of people don't know that because they know me as the owner of Extreme Youth Sports.
Mhm,
But I've counseled hundreds of families, literally hundreds, maybe even thousands, but I just say hundreds. But so I know a lot about mental wellness of kids. And, I've been working in the kids business for 25 years.
oh my goodness. Wow.
So
Don't
literally
still
25
say
years.
that.
I know, right? I always tell people I know I'm only 35. I've been doing this for a very long time.
Right.
I'm actually 43. But I've been working with kids for 25 years now. And so having studied child development and family counseling, and then having done it, it
Hmm.
taught me a ton about mental wellness. And even in my juvenile justice background, working with kids, teenagers on probation for 8 years, that my eyes were open quite a bit. Okay,
Hmm.
so I would say to answer your question, how would I look? Uh, how would
What
I?
what does wellness look like?
what is
in a,
wellness look
like,
like
I
for
guess
kids?
healthy
Yeah.
wellness. Like, what is
No,
it?
I got you. I got you. So, because I'm very, very passionate about this, I told you that. So, what wellness looks like for kids, mental wellness, is to be able to be a kid, to have fun being a kid, to be loved, to be able to have food, to
Mhm.
be able to, because that has, if you don't have food, that messes with your mental wellness. You
Yeah,
know, if you are stressed as a child, that affects how you behave. You
yeah.
know, I saw a ton of teenagers, 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 16-year-olds that were getting locked up and on probation because they had a stressful environment and they made bad choices.
Hmm.
So I understood once I went through years of juvenile justice how, you know, the mental wellness of kids affects their behavior. So
Right.
going into becoming a business owner of a kids program, I have that knowledge that kids having fun, kids having shelter, kids having food, and an emotionally safe environment is super important. A positive environment where they're supported and loved, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah,
All the difference in
yeah.
the world. And it's, a lot of people think that, you know, well, I'm not abusive to my child, or I don't beat my child, I don't sexually molest my child, so my child is fine. But that's not necessarily true at all.
Right, right.
At
There's
all.
emotional abuse. There's all kinds of neglect that
And
goes on.
sometimes it's not even abuse, Adrian. Sometimes it's not even abuse. Sometimes it's just, let's just talk about the corona. I'm tired of talking about COVID. I'm tired of even talking. We call it the Rona around here. We tired of Rona. We tired of Rona. You know, but with that, being tired of the Rona, you know, and I don't make light of the coronavirus. Understand that. You know, I
Right.
understand it's a very serious thing, pandemic. I mean, it's affected everyone, including myself and my family.
Mhm.
Thank God we're healthy. However, even through these last 10 weeks, and we counted the weeks and we're looking at the weeks, even through these last 10 weeks, if you think about it as a parent, I know you don't have kids yet, but me having 3 kids, I found it so important, and I found it like essential for me to protect my children from the stress of the world, from the negativity of the world. Now, can I protect them wholeheartedly? Like, can I put them in a shell in a bubble? Absolutely not. They know what was happening because school closed.
Right.
But if I'm running around talking about, oh my God, the death toll is here. Oh my God, this person died. Oh my goodness, did you hear about this? Oh my God, do you understand what happens with da 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 da? Oh my God, don't touch that. Don't touch that because, oh, you might die of the corona. If I'm talking about that every day, that is
Yeah.
stressful for a child.
Yeah.
That is stressful for a child. And I'm very passionate. I might be getting a little bit loud because it bothers me when people focus so much on themselves as adults and we forget to have the conversation about kids. Like, how are kids affected when they're staying? I've had kids in our program that were
Hmm.
used to coming to our program after school every day after school for the entire school year until spring break hit, and then COVID hit, and then all of a sudden everything changed. Schools closed, you know, and you know, the fear hit the world, fear hit the United States, all these states, and it trickles down. Everything changed. And so, with that being said, we had some kids that, and I know, I think LA was hit hard too. And every state is different, you know, because some
Yeah.
states are reopening, some are not. But, you know, in our states, I know Florida is a little bit different. Our governor is, he understands the Florida culture. So being
Hmm.
active and being outside and getting vitamin D and sunshine is super important to him. And I respect that and I appreciate that because I understand how it is when my kids are cooped up in the house and then they go outside and play on the playground and they're happy.
Yeah.
They're happy. You know, their mental wellness, their emotional well-being is fine. You know, we've
Hmm.
had kids that have stomach aches and they're like, oh, I don't feel too good. And can you call my mom? And usually, you know, if they're not sick, usually they're nervous, anxious, or uncomfortable. And I
Hmm.
know that because I'm a counselor. You understand what
Right.
I'm saying? And so
Right.
I've
Right.
taught my coaches, my team, to understand that sometimes it's not that they're sick. Sometimes they're not, you know, and we're not doctors, but you
Hmm.
gotta assess the situation. you know.
Okay.
And so a lot of times we've, you know, checked their temperature, and we've been checking temperatures like, you know, they can't even enter our camp without checking their temperature. But what we do is once we assess that situation, then, you know, we find out, okay, they're fine, no temperature at all, and they go outside and play, then all of a sudden they're fine.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
smiling, they're laughing, they're good. But that's just like us. Think about when we're hangry, when we're hungry. Do we act different? I know I do. I
I
have to
do.
watch myself. Listen,
Yes, yes,
I
yes,
can
for
get
sure.
hangry. So yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. Hey, Ursula, we got some giants in the room.
Oh my
Casey,
God, Ursula Chapman.
Ursula Chapman, Chapman
What?
Larson,
What?
and Casey Wellbaum. Hey, what's
Casey,
up?
what's up? Oh my God,
Giants
I'm
in the house.
excited.
So, talking about that, you said that there's a few reasons, like when their stomach is hurting and whatnot. That goes into my next question, like how do we encourage mental wellness in children? So,
Yeah.
how would you're a counselor, so you know that it could be stress or they could be scared. How would I guess, the lay person recognize
That's good. That's a very good question. That's a very good question. And again, we always have to remember we can't play doctor. So
Mhm.
we can't act like, oh, you got stomach ache. Oh, you just nervous, girl. Get out of here. You know, and
Right?
you know, and then they got a headache, and then they got a fever, and we're not even taking them to the doctor. I'm not saying that by any means.
Right.
But sometimes we need to figure some things out. Just like I always bring it to the comparison with adults, because you know, a lot of times we say we have headaches, we have migraines, but if you're drinking Coca-Cola all day and you haven't had water all day, yeah, you're gonna have a headache. If you're
Yeah.
drinking, I mean, if you're eating junk food all day and, you know, Coke or juice, that's sugary juice all day, yeah, you're gonna have a headache. You're not gonna
Mhm.
feel too good. So
Right.
that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you have the corona or you're sick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Same with if you're nervous about something, if you're stressed. I'll put it like this. I have a friend that during the coronavirus, I mean during the pandemic, she lost a lot of hair. She lost a lot of hair. You can't tell me that she just has hair issues. She might, but I would be willing to bet it has to do with stress and anxiety.
Stress. Yeah, yeah, for
You
sure.
know, so
Definitely.
I think when we look at, if we're trying to assess it on our own
Mhm.
first, I think we need to think about how we do as adults. Like, okay, if I'm getting irritable, have I not slept long enough? You know, do I need to
Yeah.
get out of the house? Like, I can't imagine, because I know my parents live in Michigan, and Michigan is a little bit different. Like, they are stay at home, like for real. Like Florida, when we had stay at home orders, he's like, you can hike, you can bike, you can fish, you can swim. And I
Yeah.
was like, huh? How
Yeah.
is that stay at home? But then I listened to his conversation, and he was saying, I'm not going to stop the Florida culture, because that active exercise helps with building your immune system and keeping it strong. And
Yeah.
so that's what I think when we're looking at kids, we have to think about ourselves. Like, how are we when we're hungry? How are we when we're nervous, when we're stressed, when we're anxious? So, you know, could it be that we're adding stress to our kids? Can I give one example?
Sure.
Okay. So there was an example of a couple, some parents that came. Now we have families. If any of my families are on, I have no idea. But I've had tons of calls over these last 2 weeks. Like, literally, this is the reason why I haven't been able to talk to you as much as I wanted to before this interview,
Mhm.
because our phones, our emails, our text messages are going nuts right now, because we have, you know, competitors that have closed, which is very sad. And, you know, we've already been taking precautions, because we never closed. Our summer camp or our after school program never closed. We were open the entire time. And so we were practicing our protocol to make sure we kept kids safe and healthy.
Right.
So because of that, you know, we've been very, very busy. And that's why I say I'm thankful for that.
Mhm.
But when we have parents that are calling that were originally very, very afraid, now that they see that Florida's reopening, they're calling and they're like, hey, do you have summer camp spots? Or tell me what you're doing to keep kids healthy. You know, that's the question.
Yeah.
But you have parents that are very, very stressed, and it's spilling over onto their kids, you know. And then kids, I had one kid that came to us and just to visit, and because the mom was very concerned, very worried about how he was going to stay healthy. But when he came, I've known that kid for, years. But when he came, he's tiptoeing, he's scared, he's shaking visibly. He's
Wow.
anxious. He's afraid. But that's happening because of the fear that he's experiencing in the house with one or two family members. Do you understand what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right. No, I
So
get
we
it.
have to take some responsibility for our kids' behavior when we're parents, because a lot of times what we do, how we act, the decisions we make, the conversations we have, it shapes how our kids think and how they make
And how
decisions.
yes, how they react to things,
Please
for
don't get me started
sure.
on that, honey. I can talk too long for
Yeah,
that.
for sure. Hey, Shantae, Miss Danny in the
Hey,
house. Hey,
giants, this is so crazy.
all these giants, of course, should have been a giant. So let me ask you, because this week has been a really rough week.
Yeah,
And I know for me, I just have not been watching the TV. I have not been watching the news. I've stayed off of social
yeah.
media as much as possible. But for parents, how do you approach this conversation? How do you have this
Ooh, that's a
discussion
good
about
question.
the things that are going on in the world today with your child? And then it's a double question. So, and what is an
Girl, don't be giving me
appropriate?
no double question. That's a good question right there.
Okay, but I want to know, what is an appropriate age to start having these conversations? Like, do you address them? Like, you have a 2-year-old. Um,
Yeah, that's
do you have
good.
that conversation? At what age do you have that conversation? But first, how do you address this?
Ooh, I had to drink some water on that one. Because that is a big question.
Hmm.
And I think it's an important question. I think that's exactly why I was so excited about this interview, because nobody's talking about that.
Right.
Nobody's talking about that. If you're talking about, like, let's say the stress and the current events that are happening, I believe that we have to make the best judgment as parents, depending on how old our kids are, but not just age, how
Hmm.
mature they are, in order to share certain current events with them. I am
Right.
not going to tell a 5-year-old and a 4-year-old about the death toll of the coronavirus. I'm not going to do it. Swine flu. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to even let them hear me talk about it, because I don't
Hmm.
want a 5-year-old afraid of that and saying that if they touch a wall after somebody else touched a wall, they may get the corona.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. You can do that if you want to. I'm talking to the people that's listening, but I don't agree with that. I think that that's wrong of us as parents. I think we have to protect kids, to a certain extent. Now, like, I have 11-year-old, so we've had several conversations about what's going on, about the changes, and I think it's a great conversation for him, because he's learned through our conversations how, wow, we lost so much business in like 2 week span because of people being laid off. I've never gotten that many calls in my entire 9 years of business of
Hmm.
parents. I lost my job. I'm furloughed. Da, 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 da. I'm sorry, I can't pay. But he also saw parents. We had like 15 to 20 parents that told us that, listen, keep debiting our account with the payments, even though we're working from home, because we love you guys so much. We appreciate your service. So we're going to continue paying, because we don't want you to close. We
Hmm.
want to support your business, and we know you have to pay your staff. And that was a huge statement to me. I was crying like every day. But my kids didn't see me necessarily cry every day, but they heard me talk about how important it is to take care of your members when you're a business owner. My son is 11 years old and he has a business. He has a YouTube channel, J24K. Follow it, subscribe it. That he don't tell me if I say his name, I get mad.
You got, he's a little businessman,
It's
right?
too much. Listen, it's too much. But what I'm saying is, even though he gets on my nerves talking about his YouTube channel every 5 seconds, I also know him and my 8-year-old daughter, Jada.
Hmm.
They're going to be business owners. They may not do that first. Jada may end up being a fitness trainer or a teacher or whatever, but I know they both know that they're going to be a boss someday. And so
Right.
they're learning, and same with my 2-year-old, he doesn't know what we do, but he sees mommy going, he sees mommy working. So when I'm dealing with any stress, even with my 11-year-old and my 8-year-old, which I dealt with a ton of stress over these last 10 weeks, because we have 8 employees, okay, which has now grown to 10 employees, which now I'm about to hire. Actually, now we have 11. I'm hiring like 2 more people after this.
There
So
you go.
so with that being said, though, I have to pay for all those people. And
Right.
so my kids know that, and I let them know that. And so when they want to buy 55 pairs of different gym shoes, I say, no, we have things to pay for that are more important than these gym shoes. So if you want gym shoes, you can pay for it. You can earn that money yourself. So if
Right.
I'm stressed, I'm going to make sure my kids know that, yes, I may be tired. Yes, mommy may be hungry, but it's still not okay for me to not act in a loving way. Now, do I snap sometime at my kids? Now, come on now.
But
Let's
you
talk
try
about
not
it.
to. You try
Yeah,
not to.
yeah. But the thing is, they understand that, there's an obligation I have to make sure that they understand when they're under stress, we don't quit. When we're scared, we still do it afraid. Even if we're
Right.
afraid, I tell my kids, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. So even if you're afraid, my daughter's a lot more shy than my son, but I don't even like calling her shy because we work on our
You don't want to
confidence
speak
all the
that
time.
into,
I
right.
don't. I don't. I
Right.
never tell people that she's shy. And anybody that says, "Oh, Jada's kind of shy," I don't at all. I say, "No, she's not. She actually is not. She actually is pretty confident. She just,
She's
doesn't really
growing
like
into it.
attention on her. She doesn't like that
Mm-hmm.
attention. She likes to be in the behind the scenes like her dad." So
No, that's wonderful. Let's see. Hey, Toya. Hi, Babs. Okay, so before we end this little section, what are some recommended resources that parents can use that'll promote wellness in children?
that's a good question. I mean, there's a
Other
lot.
than your book, of course.
Right? Oh my gosh, my book is awesome. No, I didn't even bring a copy. I don't know why I didn't, but my book is Parenting Hacks 10 Smart Solutions for Raising Amazing Kids. You can go on my website. It's KiaLoggins.com, just my name, KIA, just like the car. I say it every day of my life, KiaLoggins.com. So you can get my book on there. It's just $14.97, but that is a great resource. It's a very easy read, and it talks a lot about just different secrets that I believe I use in order to raise some amazing kids. And I always say that I'm not a parenting expert. I'm a resourceful parent. I'm a resourceful parent,
Yeah.
And so when you ask about resources, I would say that for me, in my house, my biggest resource is the Bible. So we live by it, and I believe there's so many secrets in there. Sometimes we forget what is in there that we can actually use for life. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's something pretty smart. But also there's some other books that I go to. I love 1-2-3 Magic. Is a great book. I think, and especially if you have little bitty babies or you're a new mom or a mom to be, toddlers, that's a great book. Discipline Without Tears is a great book. It's an oldie but goodie. I read it in college and I use it still today, like 20 some years past. That's great if you have a teenager or any kids that are dealing with disciplinary issues, or you don't understand why your child is all of a sudden misbehaving.
Right.
That's a great book. And I think my other favorite book that I would say is Have a New Kid by Friday. I love that book. Love that book. So I would say those.
Okay. All right, great. So you've given us a lot of information, and I hope that all of the parents and families, aunts, uncles, and just caregivers of children have taken notes and got some of that information. And we're going to jump back into the fun part. So, Bohemian Vibes. If you guys do not know, this is Bag of Vibes. It's a deck of affirmation cards. So today we're going to pull a card, which is this card.
So
And
wait a minute, Adrian, how do I get those cards? Because I didn't know. I just knew you were an author, which I need your book, and I
yes.
need affirmation cards. I didn't know about these.
Oh, my nails look a whole hot mess. But you
can.
can.
Look, I'm gonna brag right now because our nail salon's just open.
I saw you posted like the nail salons are open.
Girl.
Yeah, girl. But you can buy my book at www.prettybrowninc.com. That also has, I have another book called Queen Vibes, 10 Vibes for Powerful Girls, and that's for girls ages 9 to 14.
Which one is the new one?
The new one is the Queen Vibes book. This book right here, this is the original. This is the first book.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought you only had one book.
No,
Wow.
I've been busy writing. I've
Girl,
been
I
busy
gotta catch
writing.
up, honey. I gotta catch up.
Yes. But so our deck of
Okay.
intention cards today, it says laugh, and it's a quote on here that says, "Laughing used to be so uncomfortable for me. Maybe it was years of trauma that dulled my sense of humor. Either way, I've made a conscious effort to laugh out loud as often as possible. I'd forgotten what my laugh sounded like. A
Wow.
great feeling to hear yourself laugh authentically." So, since it's been a tough week, Bohemian Vibes says, name your top three favorite comedies.
Top three favorite comedies, like comedies of all time, like
Of all
comedians
time,
or oh
just
Lord.
three. Just three. I mean, I know it's hard because
Okay,
there's a
so
lot
I
of
would
good ones
say,
out there.
yeah, I love comedians or show or movie. Rush
Movie.
Hour is like one of my favorites.
Okay, Rush Hour is one.
All three, because I love Chris Tucker. Let me see who else. Oh, I love Sinbad. He's like an oldie but goodie, but I can always throw on a old YouTube video of Sinbad, and I will be crying laughing.
Sinbad.
Sinbad, and who else? Let me think. I would say probably Eddie Murphy. Yeah, because some of these new comedians they're okay, but I feel like nobody's as funny as Eddie Murphy.
Right, nobody's as funny as Eddie Murphy.
You
I
know.
mean, yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And so this suggestion for tonight says watch one of those tonight. So people grab Sinbad, Rush Hour, an Eddie
Yes.
Murphy film. I would recommend Dolomite on Netflix. I've been really like
Oh,
binge
that's
watching that over and over again. But watch one of them tonight. So, holistic health. Mrs. Loggins, can you tell us or recommend to us one holistic practice that people should incorporate into their lives?
Ooh, that's a really good question. You asked some great questions, Adrienne.
Thank
Man,
you. Thank you.
wow, Lord have mercy. You got me thinking. I thought this was going to be an easy interview. No, that actually it's a great question. I would say meditation for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I heard about meditation for years and years and years and years and years. And I grew up in church, so I knew the importance of prayer. So I'm one that does not skip a day of prayer, and people may think that that's funny or religious, but that's only because my mom didn't skip a day of prayer. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I talk about the importance of parenting and how, you have an effect on your child. But so meditation, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when I finally put it into practice, I would say probably maybe just the last couple years. I can't profess that I meditate every single morning, but the majority of mornings when I do, my day is awesome. And I always start with gratefulness. And that's why I love that you started with gratefulness. So I started with gratefulness, and I continue with just really focusing on the top three goals that I have or dreams that I have that I'm working on. I'm not one to meditate because some people do meditate and just empty their brain and just brain dump and don't think about anything.
Right.
I do that sometimes if I'm stressed, but this is really an intentional meditation. I've learned from my life coach, Dr. Sasha Pierce, but I start with gratefulness. I'll focus on me accomplishing the top three goals that I have. And then I usually end it with gratefulness again. And then just a thoughts of victory and being able to see myself through it. Like through this whole situation, this perfect example. I
Yeah.
had to not focus. That's why I had to kind of pull myself from Facebook. So you don't see me posting as much. I post a lot in my stories, my Instagram stories. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely follow me on Instagram, Kia Loggins at Kia Loggins. But I usually share a lot more on there, but not as much on Facebook because I don't want to be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and seeing a whole bunch of negativity. So
Right.
that's just me. So
Right.
I protect my mental wellness in that way.
And
But
that's important.
ooh,
That's important. I've learned that. And, I agree with you. Like growing up in the church, there were so many things like I did not, yoga, meditation. They were just like, no, I'm not doing that. But then once you get into it and you realize, first of all, like you control what you're thinking about
yeah,
in the
that's so good.
process.
Yeah.
Like that's what, I have to explain to people.
With you saying that, that's so profound what you just said. You control what you think about. That's something that I'm trying to teach my son, who's
Mm-hmm.
11, because kids have to understand that they control their thought life. Adults have to understand that.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of think like, whoa, it's strong. Just like you're saying, and I'm going to pick with you, Adrian, because I know you're a strong girl. I know you're a strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, because we girlfriends, you know, but
Yes,
I know you're a strong woman because you've gotten this far, you know, having survived different challenges.
right.
But, you know, even saying that this week is tough over and over again, I challenge you not to say that, because the more you say it, the more you think this week is tough. And
Right.
then the more you look online and you see what's happening, oh my God, this person died and this happened, this happened. Then you're like, oh my God, see, this week is tough.
Yeah.
So
No.
I'm
I
pushing you.
accept
I know
that
this is a
challenge.
stressful week. Look, this is a stressful week for me too. They're waiting for me to help them move. So I understand. I really am that person that I call my friends know. I call myself the pusher friend. So I'm gonna push you. You say you want to do something, you want to accomplish this goal, then let's go. Don't tell me that you're afraid. Okay, you're afraid. Great. Do it afraid.
Mm-hmm.
You
No,
know,
no, you are right. You are right. Thank you for the pep talk. I appreciate
sorry.
it.
Sorry, you know
Thanks,
I love
girl.
you.
Thanks. Love you too. Love you too. So, in talking
You
about
still got another question for me. Oh my goodness.
we're almost done. We're almost done. But I do want
Okay,
to
cool.
say,
I got time. I got time. You're good.
with meditation, just
Yeah.
so if people don't know, Headspace is during this pandemic, they are offering free subscriptions to anyone. I know in LA County, it's all LA County residents, but also they're offering free subscriptions to anyone who is collecting unemployment. So I do Headspace. I wasn't doing the paid subscription, but I've also I've added onto there because that's if you're not familiar with meditation, that's
Yeah.
something good to just kind of get you into there. What did Shantae say? Reiki all day for me. Okay, there you go, Shantae. See, we've got some alternative holistic methods in here.
Okay, I've
So I
never
just
heard
want
of
everybody
Headspace.
to
I've never heard
like
of Headspace. I said I've never
Headspace is
heard of it.
really good.
Okay.
Because like you, like I don't do it, but I find myself when I don't meditate, like my day is off. So I set a timer and it'll like it has a training program. Like I want to be able to meditate
I
for
love
20
it.
minutes, 30 minutes, and it'll remind me every day, like and it gives you nice little affirmations and it will
Oh,
remind
great.
you throughout the day just to keep, stay out of your head.
I'll have
Hello.
to look it up. That's great.
Yep. Hello, Auntie Barbara. Okay, we're wrapping this show. This is a great show. Thank you so much. I love having
Thank
you
you for
on
having me. Oh my
here.
gosh.
So positive affirmations is a thing for me. Like what you were saying. Like I can't be
Yeah.
saying like it's been a rough week. It's been a tough
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
So speaking, I found like when I was at my lowest, I had to speak to myself like David did, encourage myself, and so I like to have this little segment called I Am. And it's just an affirmation. And we want you to speak into the atmosphere, Mrs. Loggins. I am what?
Girl, you speaking my language, honey. Listen, I love me some affirmations. You look at my bathroom, I have affirmations everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah,
So I love that about you. And I saw that, just kind of following you. So that's great. I would say I am $1 million mama.
there you go. There you go. That's wonderful. I am. And I am moving on to the next section, which is
You are so funny.
no,
Oh
I
my
am
goodness.
a boss. I am powerful. I am strong. I am having an amazing week and an
I
even
love
better week next week.
And so
So
you're healthy. So
I
so it's
am.
a great week.
It is. It's a great week.
Healthy
I'm
on your
alive. I'm
side.
healthy. Yes. Got business is booming.
That's it.
So check on your strong friend. What I find is that we, the strong women, we internalize a lot of things. We are always like, yes, I'm good. Girl, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm
Yep.
fine. And really, behind closed doors, we are a hot mess. Like things are
Ooh, you
falling
better tell
apart.
it, girl.
So I would always like to end this show with sending a special shout out. So send a message of love or encouragement to one of your strong friends.
Aw, but can I do
You
one?
could do it to the masses.
Okay. Because you know what? That's really good because during this pandemic, that's one thing that I learned that my friends are so important. to get through this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I am the strong friend. So I am the one that you need to check on. So I
Mhm.
appreciate that. So, there are three friends that I would say that I love so much, and they're constantly like, Kia, if you don't go to sleep, Kia, go to sleep. So, because I work a lot.
Mhm. Yes,
It
you
was,
do.
yes, I do.
Girl.
Listen,
I'm like, it's
that's
4 o'clock in the morning.
that's why I need to be $1 million mama so I can take some more vacations with our
Yes.
family. So I would say shout out to my girl Isha Todd, Sharita Richardson, and Monda Land for sure, and the Kenji Evans. My goodness, I got some good friends. They're amazing. So yeah, shout out to them. Love them.
There you go. There you go. And hey, Sean Zachary, we love you too, Sean. This is a whole high school reunion up in here. Loving it. So my strong friend this week, let's see. I mean, because I have a lot of them, but I'm gonna send a special message to my good girlfriend Tawny Price, who is in South Africa right now. She actually was in South Africa in Cape Town when all of this went down. She should be back by now, but she's not. So she's enduring the pandemic over there. But I want to just give a shout out to her because I've seen how she's pivoted her business. She has a Zuri wine tasting and she is doing things online. So message of love to her. Yes.
I'm sorry. I love that. I love that you have a friend in South Africa. I think that's fabulous. I forgot one friend, and I cannot because she is amazing, and that's Kiara Mason. She's a YouTuber, and she is just such a great friend. She's a total opposite of me and very calm and keeps me calm when I'm a little, high strung.
Okay, you need that. You need that. And before we go, like it's been great having this conversation. I hope that you guys, if you didn't catch the whole show, you can catch the replay on my Facebook page or also on my YouTube page. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. And Kia, I have KiaLoggins.com scrolling beneath us, but you want to let everybody know how they can find out more information about extreme youth sports, and as well as your book.
Yes. And so 2 things. So I have 3 different websites, but I'm just going to send you to 2. So KiaLoggins.com has my book on it. And also I just launched a Mompreneur mentorship course that's all online. I have a 4-week course, and I also have an 8-week course that'll be live in the fall. So definitely get a spot in that because I'm only going to allow probably about 15 ladies because I like it small. Mm-hmm. And that's for moms to be as well. It's moms and moms to be that want a side hustle, have a side hustle, run a business, and are a mom. And that's really like my passion is helping other mompreneurs. The other website is LakeMarySummerCamps.com, LakeMarySummerCamps.com. And that is where you can find out about our summer camp if you're in the Florida area. But third, we have our company, our umbrella company is really Kid Success Zone. So you'll hear more from that company because that's where we're launching all of these virtual programs. Okay. We have a virtual after school program, summer camp, all learning programs. So you'll hear more about that. So definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I know you have
having me, girl.
You have so much to do today, but thank you for popping in, and you gave us a ton of information. So be well, embrace the journey, millionaire mom.
I need to get your book and your affirmation cards.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll talk to you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, people, so there you have it. We talked today with Miss Kia Loggins, so you can see Lake Mary Summer Camp scrolling beneath, and you can also go to KiaLoggins.com. And I hope you guys join me next week. My guest next week will be none other than Miss Carmen James of Fit Bella V, and she will be talking to us about wellness and fitness and keeping our mental health in shape. So thank you for joining me today. Love you guys. Love all of the comments. Be well.